feel a sense of shame or guilt about something that you did or didn't do, something that you said or didn't say, about the dreams that you have, the ones that you have, about your past maybe, or any decisions that you make or didn't make, or even how you maybe treated, upset, or hurt another person, or anything else that may cause you to feel somewhat ashamed or guilty. You see, the thing is, we all feel shame or guilt at some level. And the thing is, these feelings of shame and guilt can actually negatively impact us today, in moving forward in the way we're experiencing life. It can hold you back and also make you feel not very much okay, because that sense of guilt and shame can play out in the background. And in this video, I want to share with you a powerful light language activation or healing frequency activation to help you heal and release any feeling of shame, of guilt, so you can really set yourself free from that and bring your power back home. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that we all do the best we can with what we know, with what we have, with how we know how to best go about a certain situation. So there's no need to ever feel shame or guilty unless you actually did something, on purpose to hurt another person. But usually, the things that we do, we're doing it because that's the best thing that we know how to do, or just the situation that we're in. Even if, let's say, you're hurting another person, it's usually because there's something going on, and this is like the best way that you know how to respond to a certain situation, right? So here I just want you to know is that there's really no need to feel ashamed or guilty, like I said, unless you're actually doing it intentionally. But you're here, so I would assume that you're not the kind of person that intentionally likes to hurt another person, right? But, shame and guilt, we all feel it at one point in our life. And oftentimes, we may feel it quite often, right? Because we're responding to a situation in maybe a negatively way. And then afterwards, we're like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. And, you feel bad about maybe what you said or what you did, or how you maybe hurt another person or upset another person or things like that, right? And even about, the actions that you didn't take. Maybe you were holding yourself back from doing something, and now you're feeling quite ashamed or even guilty that you didn't do that because this may have led you to a better life, things like that. But just know that we always do the best that we can with what we have, with what we know in the moment. Right? So with this activation, it is really my goal, my intention to help you release and heal any of that sense of shame and guilt so you can free yourself from it and really bring your power back home. So if you would like to receive this beautiful activation, then please join me here by placing both feet on the ground, getting grounded, getting present, taking a deep breath in and breathing light and love. And when you breathe out, just drop into your heart and then close your eyes. Open yourself up to receiving this beautiful activation as it is to your highest and greatest good. Now here, what you may want to do is, if you are aware of any sense of shame and guilt, what you may want to do is connect with it. Not really diving into the story and anything like that, but really just connecting with it. Maybe even bringing up that feeling of shame and guilt as I then assist you through this light language to healing it, to transforming it, to transcending it into something higher. So you can really free yourself from that. And if you're not quite sure where you feel guilt or shame, it's perfectly fine. Just open yourself up to receiving this healing transmission to heal any guilt and shame that you feel within you, whether you're aware of it or not. So just open yourself up to that. You may also call up on your soul, your team of guides, your higher self if you so wish, as I too now call upon my team of guides, the highest, best, most loving angelic guides, galactic guides, dragon guides, and light beings that can best support us now in this beautiful healing transmission, this healing activation. Please step forward, connect with us. Surround us with your beautiful presence. Uplift us and prepare us to open ourselves up to this activation as it is to our highest and greatest good. And we ask for divine assistance, and please helping us heal, release, and transcend any and all feelings of shame and guilt, whether we're aware of them or not. Dissolve the imprint, the programming, any attachments of shame and guilt from our being, our mind, our heart, and our emotions, and even our consciousness. And please down within higher level codexes to replace any feeling of shame and guilt with love, gratitude, appreciation, and acceptance. And please help us learn what we need to learn, but release any and all negative tension that causes us to feel shame and guilt. And please collapse timelines of feeling shame and guilt. freeing us from the past, dissolving any imprints left behind by what has been, and transcend any shadow aspects that have held on to shame and guilt, transcending it into higher level aspects that are more in alignment with our true authentic self. And please anchor in our upgraded and transcended aspects of self so we can be whole once again as the more authentic soul self that we are. And so this kakata anne katu kakata anne katu unakata katu urakata nukurukutu urna kaina kate kurukutu anne katu unai kurukuta alle katu unakata nai kai ku urna anene ele ai wanne era nukuruku urna nuru ura anai kurukuta ura arahanere elura ana ara ura ana ara ale lukurukutu unakatai kurukutu kutu unakata lakatai kurukutu una na ast al a na ast an al a iku an aka ku ur kuru ur akata anekte nukurukutu uru stere ar ura kataka anektu. Now you may tune in and connect with any feeling, any sense of shame or guilt, and do so with an open heart, not judging how you feel, not judging why you did what you did or how things happened, not judging any part of this, simply connecting with the feeling, the essence of shame and guilt, not the stories, just the feeling. Allow this to come to the surface and allow us to assist you in healing and releasing this feeling of shame and guilt across all time, space, reality, lifetimes, and dimensions. Kurnakai kura nakatakatu nakatai kurukutu utana nukuruk ura nakate elekete urukutu unukutu nukutu unakata anekitu urukutu. Feel this dissolving into nothingness where it came from as you now free yourself from this feeling of shame and guilt. Kurukutu unukutu urukutu ula nekatukutu unukutu unakata nakatai kurukutu urakata anekitu ura nukurukuta annakata annekite lukurukutu unukutu unakata annekitukutu unukutu urukutu unakata nakatakatukutu unukutu unakatakete lukurukuta annekitukutu unakatakata enukutu unakata nukutu unakata annekitukutu urahta. Now we also wish to assist you in clearing your timeline of any experiences in programming and imprints of shame and guilt as well, infusing your timeline with a high frequency light codes of healing, of transmutation, and of transformation to transform and dissolve any of those lower level frequencies of shame and guilt into the nothingness where it came from. Ki ai kuku urunakata, kurukutu unukutu urahta anahata e lukurukutu unukutu urukutu unakata anakata elakata kutukutu unakata nukutu unai kutukutu unakata ana nukurukutu rakata annekitu urastra alahata nukuruku rahtara alla nukutukutu unakata anneakate. Now we wish to assist you in transcending your shadow aspects that are holding on to the essence of shame and guilt. You may now imagine these shadow aspects, whether it's one or multiple ones, many, to come out from within your heart, to appear in front of you or all around you. See the shadow aspects now feeling maybe perhaps confused as they do not understand what is happening as you're releasing this essence of shame and guilt. We're now here to assist you to transcend these shadow aspects, to infuse these shadow aspects with light and love, the frequency of light and love and appreciation and acceptance, that they can now let go of these feelings of shame and guilt, so they can also be transcended into a higher level frequency. Frequency that is serving you more than how they have up until this point. Ki unar arast erwan anaha nuku urna al urna al ku ka anai ku urast ela la kate urna kate kitu urna kata nukutu kata una kata elena ate kata enukutu kata nukutu una kata ane kutu una kutu kata ane nukutu kata ane kutu kata enai kutu nakata nakata ale kutu kutu nakata ane nukutu nakata ela kata ane kutu kata nakata nu stera alera ela. Now see white light surrounding these shadow aspects, seeing these shadow aspects being uplifted into a higher frequency band. These shadow aspects are now receiving this energetic upgrade, this energetic download that will upgrade it, that will transcend them. Now you also open yourself up to receiving this energetic upgrade, this download of higher codexes to also assist you in releasing any programming, any feelings of shame and guilt, upgrading that to a higher frequency band. Now see your shadow aspect coming back down, entering back into your heart as you now integrate once again these upgraded shadow aspects of you. Now they're no longer the limited version of who they once were, but they have been upgraded. They have received new programming, higher programming. Now bring these in, anchor these in, integrate these aspects. Let it click into place, really becoming one once again with your shadow aspects, these upgraded shadow aspects. Now that they have received this new upgrade, they can assist you in a higher way, no longer the limited way of constantly making you feel shame and guilt, but in a higher way to feel more aligned, to feel more gratitude, to feel more centered, to have a better understanding and self-compassion as well. Now let's anchor this into your being, making it part of you. Kenara ala ara ara e urna hatere la ne wa nukuruku urna al an ara e an ara e nukuruku kurana kai kurukutu urana kataketu una nukutu una kutu una ketu unate nakataketu urana ale era urastere lukurukutu una tahata. Now breathe this in, breathe in this upgrade and let it settle for a moment. This transmission is now complete. You have received this beautiful healing transmission to heal any shadow aspects. You've also received this upgrade. Now you may want to anchor this in and believe that you have freed yourself from this feeling, this sense of shame and guilt at this time. Blessed be, beloved, blessed be. Now you may take another deep breath in and just let it settle for a moment. Let it settle. And whenever you're ready, you may open up your eyes again, come back into here and now and join me for the rest of this video. And welcome back. I really hope that this activation was beneficial for you, that you were able to release any sense that you have around shame and guilt. Now, you can always re-listen to this activation again, because oftentimes shame and guilt can be multi-layered, multifaceted. So we cleared and healed whatever you were now ready to heal and clear. Now, if you're still feeling somewhat of a sense of shame and guilt, now here I'm still getting a sense that this is going to take some time. I'm getting 7 hours for this activation to really be complete, to really clear out anything that is now ready to be released and to upgrade you. But anytime you may be feeling a sense of guilt and shame again, you may actually tune in to see, well, where's this coming from? Why do I release the emotional charge around what you're feeling, the feeling of shame and guilt? So you can always come back to this. But I'm curious to know from you, what do you experience with this activation? Were you able to release it? Did you feel somewhat of a sense of releasing? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. While you're at it, maybe even hit the like button, maybe share it with someone that you think could benefit from listening to this. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I release new content. But now, the way you can make the most out of this activation is, for one, you definitely want to let it settle for a little bit, because a lot of energy was definitely be released. But then also maybe become aware of, where do you still maybe hold on to shame and guilt? Where do you still feel shame and guilt? And then maybe how can you look at it from a different perspective? Because now we healed a lot on that energetic level, but now you also need to make different choices, right? So by you becoming aware of what areas in your life do you feel shame and guilt, then maybe also check in. Do you still feel it at the same level as before? And if yes, then maybe re-listen to this activation again. But if no, if you're noticing that, okay, it has shifted, I'm not really feeling it like I did before, then this is then a good indicator that now all you need to do is just make a different choice. Instead of maybe then holding back and talking yourself out of it or limiting yourself or anything like that, then make a different choice. Or if it's about, how you maybe react to other people, whatnot, well, maybe then respond to people in a higher way, right? But you also need to do something in the physical to then really make this shift, make this change. But it really depends on why you're feeling shame and guilt and how and in what area, right? So taking a moment maybe to kind of realizing, where are you feeling shame and guilt, and then making a different choice can really help you then solidify what this activation just did, because it helped you heal and clear whatever you were now ready to release. And like I said, if not, feel free to re-listen to it again. Maybe put a little bit more focus and intention on clearing and healing specific areas where you feel shame and guilt. But then also choose to let it go. Really release it. Because remember at the beginning, I said we all do the best that we can in the situation that we're in, the resource that we have, the things that we know, all of that. We're doing the best that we can. And sometimes this can actually lead to not so pleasant decisions that maybe now you're like, in hindsight, you're like, oh, I wish I would have done a different decision. And that can cause you to feel maybe guilt and shame. But here, just allow yourself to let that go. Just know that I've done the best that I could have in the situation that I was in, with what I had available to me, with what I knew, with how I knew how to respond to the situation. So release yourself from any shame and guilt. Let yourself off the hook, so to speak, right? Now the good thing is you can always make different choices, different decisions moving forward. But also, honor your choices, honor the decisions that you made, but now really choose a higher way then. If you don't want to feel that way anymore, choose a higher way, respond in a higher way, okay? So here you go, you have this beautiful activation. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope that it was beneficial for you. Like I said, maybe save it to your watch later list, so you can always come back to it. But also definitely be sure to check out these 2 videos here. One is about healing the shadow of I'm not good enough, and also another video about how to overcome limiting beliefs through shadow work. I think you're going to enjoy both of them. So thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant and joyful day. Namaste.